It says you're live. Most people are busy. It's a Saturday, but listen, I'm you. Okay. HVAC pros, right? You may be a service technician. You may be a young business owner. You may be a somewhat established business owner, but we're always struggling with this. Am I good enough? You know, uh, am I good enough? Because we often think that external validation, in other words, the opinions of other people matter. Guys, I'm here to tell you it absolutely does not. First of all, let's say that you are going to make that leap one day and you're going to start your own business. You've already maybe started getting your licensing and getting everything prepared, and you know that that's for you. If it's not for you, don't worry about it. Don't focus on something that's not a good fit just because that's what everybody does. Now you need to find where your passion is and pursue that. But if your passion is that you want to start your own business, or maybe you've already started and you're freaking out, I need to let you know this. First of all, does your employer send you out as a technician, installer, comfort advisor, whatever? Do they send you out on your own to represent the company? Do they? If they do, you've already proven they've trusted you in representing their professional organization, right? You can do this. Of course you can. But what we need is we all need a little help, a little guidance, a little, oomph. I always like to tell a story about, the hero's journey because it fits so well in what we do as an industry. But essentially, you're the hero, right? You've got to go from not knowing to being terrified to being afraid to getting through that and coming out the other end victorious. And generally, just like in the movies, you get a guide that'll step in and will walk you through and help you and coach you through that. And it blows my mind because so many people embrace this. First of all, it blows my mind is how many people just defiantly think that they have to do this themselves and save every penny. You know, let me tell you a good secret here. It's called the law of attraction. We've heard this, but if you take your ideal customer, the perfect customer that you want somebody that's responsible. You just want somebody that'll pay your price. You want somebody that understand that by investing in you, the business owner, that they're investing in themselves, in their future with somebody that's going to be around and give them all of the support that they need, not just during the transaction, during the service and installation, but afterwards. And then later when it comes time to do more work, right? So if you're looking for that type of employee or that type of a customer, you want to attract that type of a customer, then you need to be that type of a person. You need to be professional. You need to be willing to get some help and guidance because I'm going to tell you, most HVAC contractors who step out on their own, they do fail. So it's with good reason that you're nervous. In fact, the statistics that I remember that within the first 5 years, 7 out of 10 will go under or give up because it's just too much. 70% failure rater in the first ratio in the first rating in the first 5 years. Now, that leaves 3 to get through the next 5 years. So in a total of 10 years, we're going to lose 2 out of 3 of those. 1 in 10 are going to make it. Why? Not because they don't have the technical skills. They don't have that confidence. They don't have the ability to do great work. It's because they don't have that other side of the business handled. Well, it's easy, Pete. All you have to do is everything that my boss has been doing. Well, you're seeing one piece of that. It's a lot. There's a lot more to that. So in order to be successful, we have to strategize and be proactive and do things like marketing, not advertising. These are two different things. Advertising is important, but marketing. A good business owner has structure. They have organization. They have a way of maximizing their sales, prioritizing their leads, and pushing forward work that needs to be pushed forward so that when the peak demand goes down and the phones quit ringing, they have plenty of work to keep them busy, right? And they have to establish relationships along the way so that your business will continue to grow. Once you have that base in place, you will have tremendous results. You don't have to go out and buy customers all the time through advertising. Spend money. I need customers. I'm going to tell you one common challenge with HVAC business owners is they all say the same thing. I just need better advertising. I need a constant source lead and I'll be fine. I need better marketing and advertising. I just need to have more customers, right? And it's not that. It's kind of like a relay race, where they run and they hand the baton to somebody else and they run. You're only as strong as the weakest link in the chain. And if somebody drops that baton, the customer's gone. It's done. The opportunity's gone. And it's not that hard. What it takes is just a little bit of preparation and guidance and a map, right? Step one, step two, step three, a process that you can systemize to your uniqueness and have success. Now, just going in business as a heating and air conditioning contractor, for example, makes you a commodity. What is a commodity? It's like rice. I can get rice over here in the expensive bag or rice over there in the cheap bag. It's still rice. That's a commodity. So they look at you, the HVAC contractor, as just a commodity. And you'll know this because they're going to look up your part. I sold you a capacitor for your condensing unit, and now your customer's looking it up online, finding it for $20 or $25 through Amazon and saying, you charged me $200 for something that costs $20. Okay. First of all, you're not. Okay. Never feel guilty about that, because what many consumers don't understand is what the cost of doing business is and how just how expensive it is for you to pull up in the driveway. Now that tells you two things. Number one, you're not conveying the right message. And number two, you're not attracting the right customers. When you attract price bargain hunters, you're being perceived as just another contractor. You know what? Come on out. Give me a price. I'll let you know if you're the cheapest bidder, if you're the low bid. That's a commodity. But in our business, that we are not a commodity. You get what you pay for, or as Grandpa used to say, either way you go, you get your money's worth. Now, if you want your customer to perceive that they're getting their money's worth, then they need to see you as a professional, high-end organization. Pete, how do I do that? I just started. I got an old beat up truck. Well, there's a number of ways that we do this. Number one, you have to identify who you are and what your values are and what makes you unique. Then you want to analyze the values of your very best customers, the ones that really want the best, the ones that don't mind paying a little more as long as they get good quality service. When you start looking at their values and then you align yours and you create an image that projects that very clearly, you will be perceived as a higher end, more valuable contractor than just somebody who's out there to give a price. Why? Because people don't want your air conditioner. People don't want your furnace. People don't want your darn contactor. They don't even want you in their house. What they want is that pain that they're experiencing, this discomfort, this disruption in my life that's just ruining my day, you know how they get, to go away, right? And you stand between them and that goal. So their problem is internal. And we fix that by fixing something external, like a heating and air conditioning situation, maybe an IAQ situation, maybe, repairs, whatever it is. They need something. Maybe they're just freaking out and they need something called peace of mind. And they call somebody out to really go through the system because it's going to be a long winter. And so you go through these things and you upgrade weak components and you go through a proper setup and you check the furnace or heat pump, whatever it is, and you make sure it's tip-top shape, right? And you've got it and you've given it your seal that it's in its best operating condition, and it's least likely to give any issues based on the fact that you've gone through it with a fine-tooth comb. This is part of giving that customer something called peace of mind. And peace of mind is just like having that vehicle gone through with a fine-tooth comb, everything, all the fluids changed and everything upgraded and measured and checked before they make that long trip and out, because they don't want to get broke down on the side of the road somewhere. It's all the same stuff. We just package it differently. So when you're marketing as a business owner, you need to be marketing towards the internal, right? And once you start to understand this and you start to connect with these people, your confidence will go up and you'll start to realize, I'm starting to get this. Be careful not to be overconfident. Okay. I'm 55 years old. Those of you guys that know me, I'm 55 years old. And I started this when I was 18. As a matter of fact, it will be 38 years next month, within a week or two. When I started the 52 Charlie program, which is utilities equipment repair, U.S. Army Corps of Engineers. I was in Fort Belvoir, Virginia, where they taught me, guess what? Heating and air conditioning, along with refrigeration and some other stuff, pneumatics, and we did all kind of cool stuff, ice machines. But the thing is, in all that time, I've been a service technician. I've been in the military. I've been a service technician in the civilian world. I've installed, I've sold, I've owned my own business. I sold my business after 10 years. I went to work as a manufacturer, a territory manager for companies like Lennox and Goodman. And I worked through a wholesale side of it where I worked with companies like American Standard. They flew me to Texas to be your technical support guy. A lot of stuff over the years, right? And I don't know it all, but what I know, right? So don't feel inadequate because you don't know it all. As much as I knew going through, I didn't fit in that corporate world. Maybe you do, maybe you don't. Maybe that's why you have to start your own business, right? Maybe you need to be that unique, person in control of your own destiny. But my grandfather, I mentioned before, he taught me this. He said a lot of people want to start their own business because they don't want a boss. He said, well, I'm here to tell you, you don't have one boss, you have a bunch of bosses. And if you don't treat them wrong or right, you're out. Well, maybe it doesn't feel too bad to lose one customer, but if you don't set yourself up right to give that proper image, to attract the right customer avatar, and you don't have the processes in place to delight them, not to delight the equipment, that part's a given. You got to make that equipment happy. But I'm talking about the owner of that equipment. If you don't have the processes in place to delight them, you won't be back. And if you don't know how to communicate to them in a way that it doesn't feel like you're trying to sell them something, stop trying to be a salesperson and be an excellent options offer. We've gone through the system. I'm here, right? You call me because it's not cooling or it's not heating, but you want me to go ahead and check around, make sure everything's okay. Go ahead and ask them. Yeah, just check everything. So you go through air distribution system. You look for duct issues. You look for, maybe build up inside the duct for duct cleaning opportunities. You look at the equipment. Does it need to be maintained? You start looking at the components. Contactors already showing pitted signs. The capacitor is the original, all these different, heat pump, all these different things. You can go ahead and do a little upgrade. And why make them pay you again to come back in 6 months when you were right there and all you had to do is just upgrade all these different components? Don't do it cheap, but don't rip them off either. Have a nice bundle package, and you can offer solutions in a package format. So listen, here's what I would recommend, and you do all these different things. And this is the way you do this on the service end. Now, it's similar in equipment replacement. It's similar in all these different roles within your business. But the point is, processes and systems that consistently deliver delighted customer results are going to guarantee you something called a connection. You get a connection through matching the values of your customers, treating them with respect and care, and asking them and getting the feedback from them and not telling them this is what you need. No, your customer's in charge. So this will all help you as well in gaining confidence. But really, what we all need is somebody to be there for us. And I'm going to tell you a quick story and then I'm out of here. But when I started my business, I was terrified. I had a guy, I was 26 years old. I had a gentleman who was 52 who I'd met through the trade school. And he put his arm around me and says, Pete, here's what you need to do. Because I had to get my bills down. What am I going to do? I've got, all of a sudden I'm out here. I don't have any customers coming in. I don't have any work, but I've got a family to feed and bills to pay. He helped me negotiate all of that, rearrange things, and set up a process. And it wasn't but a few months that I was up and going and running, and I was starting to get in charge. But guess what? Along come a fresh set of troubles. Because as you grow and you start to add employees, you have new skill sets that you have to be developing in order to be a growing company that's growing in a healthy way. Okay, so let me just answer you this real quick. You are good enough. Of course you are. Now, you do have your weaknesses just like you have your strengths. We got to work on that. And so my advice to you is get a coach, get some help. Yours truly is available. It's not all about the money. It's about getting past these difficulties so that you can make the money that you want. Why are we doing this? We got to be doing it for more than just money. It's what that money provides us: stability for our family, a future for our children, right? Maybe you want to resell, you want to sell the business one day. You can't sell a business that doesn't have real customers in it. Most HVAC companies that try to sell their business generally are asking about 5 to 10 times more than it's worth. And it's not worth diddly because they didn't set it up right. Right. So your best investment is in yourself right here. Right. And if you need to invest in more information, more training, good. If you need to invest in more confidence, right? Greater sense of I can do this. I'm worth my price. I'm not ripping people off by charging $200 for this, right? We'll sit down and analyze those numbers. You'll quickly see, man, I need to go up perhaps, right? So this is all part of the process. But my point is, no matter where you are in the stage, whether you're getting ready to start and you know you got to do this one day, or you've already started, now you're on these wobbly legs and you're trying to get your head around this, or maybe you've inherited your business from dad, and you're trying to bring it up to the current times, right? That happens. So you need systems and processes and things where they're not saying boss, 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 because they will drive you to an early grave if you let them. You must put systems in place that manage your employees and allow them to lead themselves. Hire the right people that don't just have the hard skills, right? Like being able to fix the stuff, diagnose properly, analyze properly, but also the soft skills, because without that, you're going to lose customers. I would venture to say, if I had to choose the two, if they were tied, I would lean towards the soft skills. I've had employees that would go out, have to get a call back because they didn't do the job properly, and I'm going to send somebody else out. They go, no, I want him back. We like him. Why? He had that personality. He had the soft skills. You've got them too. You have to bring those out. What are your strengths? What is it about you that your customers go, that's why we called you? That right there. And it's generally something that you've done that has communicated values like honesty, integrity, caring, that your customers value. That's what I want. I don't want your contractor. I don't want that new furnace. I want somebody that I'm comfortable with. And you go from being outside to being just another heating and air contractor to being in my inner circle or tribe. You don't believe me? Here's an example. In my tribe, Pete Ramsey, I have my family. I have my friends. But I also have my circle of business dealings. I have my barber. I have my accountant. I have my doctor. And if I needed HVAC services, I'd have my HVAC contractor. You got to get out and get from outside of that inner circle and get in and become part of your customer's tribe. And you do that through connection. Now, it's all a process, but it's hopefully it's a little bit inspiration for you guys today on a Saturday. I know it's out there. We're ready to go slow. We're going to be going into the season here 71 days from now. And so let's get ready for next year. Pete Ramsey here, HVAC Greatness. I'll talk to you on the next one. You guys keep it between the ditches. Be careful. And as always, keep your chin up. You are worth it. I promise you.